It's a little different. Okay, so in this video, we will discuss. Nah, just kidding. Uh, I don't know how many of you pay attention to the stock market. Um, what we've seen this week is just a bunch of scared people. um, the pundits always talk about, well, the price of gas goes down, so that has given the consumer, an extra $800 a year as like a they they want to call it a tax break because you're paying less for your gas. Um, and you may look at it that way, but we've seen the price for a barrel of oil drop 40% this year. 10% of that just in the last week. And so today on the stock market, um, the Dow, it was down over 300 points. And so, in truth, there's no reason for it to be down 300 points. The price of gas, yeah, it affects a ton of people, businesses, industries, countries, the whole 9 yards. So let's talk about this for a little bit. So within a barrel of oil, which is 55 um, gallon drum, you have gasoline. You can make diesel from it, jet fuel, um, all kinds of other like plastics, all kinds of little side bargains. And so when you go to the pump, you see the price of oil has fallen 40%, but yet the price of gas compared to a year ago has only fallen 20%. And so you kind of wonder, okay, well, how come my gas at the pump hasn't fallen as much? Well, that's a couple of things. Uh, One, um, the price of gas, and then you have your taxes. You have what the station owner can charge for gas. I mean, not per se a price like $3 a gallon and that's it. I'm talking about above what he can pay. Most states have little rules that a gas station can charge like an extra 3 or 5%. I mean cents. It's not very much. Most gas stations make all their money pretty much on the little snacks that you buy when you come in and buy and and purchase. Um, so when we look at the price of gas or the price of oil, um, companies that benefit from a lower gas price, oil price, gas price, um, trucking companies, um, like Schneider, um, what are some of the that roadway stuff like that, UPS, FedEx, the airlines, of course. Um, but then you get an airline like Southwest that hedges like almost their entire year up front. Mexico, for a fact, actually has 86% of their production hedged for next year at $76.50, I heard. So when you look at, well, gas is at oil is at $58 now. Hey, they stand to make a lot of money. But at the same time, though, because they have that hedge in, it makes it easier for them to balance their budget. Here in the U.S., um, because of all the fracking that's been going on and stuff, um, the the railways have been making buku bucks off of transporting oil. In 2009, they transported on average 20,000 barrels of oil a day. This year, the number hasn't come out yet, but they're thinking it's going to be close to 1.1 million barrels of oil a day. We're producing upwards of about 9 million. So when you think about it, that's say 10% of what we're producing is being transported by railway. And Burlington Northern, which is owned by Berkshire Hathaway. Um, um, oh my God, I'm drawing a total blank now. But these are plays that okay, well, let's go look at. Um, some of the like Greenbrier that makes uh, the cars and stuff for railways, they would be a good play. But on the flip side, we're talking about okay, well, what about the consumer? Well, I don't know about you, but when I look at my budget now and I can say, okay, yeah, I'm paying, I don't know, maybe 60 cents less in gas compared to what I was a few months ago. Um, that's a big difference. Um, my main car that I drive is got like a 15-gallon tank. So you figure what that's $9 every time I have to fill up. Uh, Fill up 2, 3 times a month depending on how much I drive, or um, so that's you know 18, $27 in my pocket. It's not a lot of money, but you know what? That almost pays my water bill every month. Or I was able to buy a couple extra presents for my kid for Christmas because of that money. But are really consumers spending the extra money? So far, there's no concrete proof. Probably have to wait more until January when earnings season starts and companies start coming out. The WalMarts, stuff like that, and say, yeah, we had a better Christmas than we anticipated, and we think it's because of gas. There's no real way to really quantify that. Um, you might have some kind of survey where somebody calls up and says, hey, are you spending the extra money from gas on presents or bills or however? So that's probably more we're going to see in January, February, that kind of stuff. But anyway, back to the stock market. So the market was down 300 points today. Apple was down, Google was down, Microsoft was up. Um, you know, um, you gotta wonder, you know, why is why is Apple down? Um, Apple has a um, man. It sounds like my goats are going nuts outside my window. Uh, you know, the people that buy Apple phones, um, they are known to spend more money on games and apps and their cell phone bill and whatever else. Buying the little extras that they can get for their Apple products. Um, the thing about Apple though is it always gets dogged. This is the most amazing thing. After all these years with the iPhone and all that stuff, um, the the analysts always say, well, Apple's going to do this, that. They're always shocked by how like Apple can't, when it comes out with a new product or new version, about how they aren't keeping it in the stores. Um, Apple's got a great following, but you know what? When they come out with their quarterly earnings, they kill it, and then their stock price zooms, and they're like, oh, I can't believe they did this, but it happens every freaking quarter. You gotta wonder, come on, you guys ain't learned yet. But anyway, um, you know, across the board, stuff was down, and there's no reason for it. If you're worried about your money in the stock market, use this rule. If you need the money in the next 5 years, don't put it in the stock market. Put it in a CD. Put it in a bank account. Don't put it in the stock market. The stock market is long-term investing. You say, well, what about people that day trade? Well, yeah, people day trade. I day trade. Not as much as I used to, but you have to think about what are you going to need the money for. 9 times out of 10, people are thinking, okay, my kid's education, my retirement, maybe being able to get that first home or whatever. So it's not money you need right now. Like when you go to Vegas, they say never um, gamble your rent money. It's the same principle in the stock market. If you need this money in the next couple of years, don't don't put it in the market. Go find someplace else to put your bank account. Okay. Uh, and when you see these 300-point dips, man, this is the time to rush in and have cash and buy, because you can kill it. You know. Uh, who knows? You know what? Monday we might be down. Excuse me. We might be down another 300 points, but the market could just as easily be up 300 points. And that 600 point swing right there can make you a lot of cash. And then you can say, boom, you know what? Hey, I'm good, you know? And life is not always about, you know, um, not taking that chance. You have to realize sometimes you have to take the chance. And it's instances like this where you have to say, okay, hold on. Just because they're selling doesn't mean I'm selling. Okay? You have to know your drop off points. Okay? How much risk can I take? If I buy Apple, okay, I just bought Apple at $119 a share. It's at 109. Okay, I've essentially lost 10% of my of its value. But it's going to go up. Okay? Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next month, but I have confidence over the next year Apple's going to do some stuff, and I'm going to get back not only to my 119 to break even, excuse me, but I'm going to get above that where I can make me a profit. And so you have to look at your individual risk. Is it 10%? Is it 5%? Is it 20%? Okay? And when you hit that mark, take a second and say, okay, why is my stock doing this? Okay? Did I buy a dog? If you bought a dog, boom, get out and run. But if it's a good stock that's just in a bad market, you can say, okay, hey, look, I can play with this. You know, I can get back in at a lower price point, buy some more shares, which lowers my overall cost. So then when it goes back up, I have more profit built in. These are things to look at. And we're going to do a lot of talking about stocks. I love stocks. Stocks, Santa Claus figurines, and baseball. Yeah, I'm kind of a freak, which is you kind of wonder why I'm married. My wife was like, "Hey, wait a minute, you need to go." Okay, bye guys, love you.